When it comes to cups, two coaches come to mind. 3 straight titles indicate a monopoly by these mentors. The battle lines have been drawn, but in Philadelphia and Toronto, merely a fine line. The pursuit of one last victory finds each club searching for that jagged edge. They're two teams equally set at the net. There's no collaring Colin or jilting Jake. Weaponry rendered and goals surrendered. This includes a mercenary in Marichek, and in Toronto, there's Squire for hire. Clubs thrive on their gravitational pull, especially when it comes to the trigger. Tonight, 2 keepers under the gun. But when it comes to defending, there's greatness pending, so precise in their punishment. Barriers infallible, the thought of failure is intolerable. In nets, the Wings have Dallas, while Toronto sports their lone star. Eliak and Watson, 2 final bastions and a title in tow. The Wings and Rock pull out all the stops. The Toronto Rock are hoping that their fans might provide them with the ultimate trump card. And for the second time this season, they'll be playing with a full house. 19,000 plus are on hand in anticipation of another championship run. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Toronto, and a fitting conclusion to a tremendous National Lacrosse League season on tap here tonight. Both these clubs competing have concluded the season, in fact, with championships over the last 3 years. But if the Philadelphia Wings are to win their 6th ever franchise title, they'll be challenged here in Toronto tonight. They have not won in the city of Toronto lifetime, and the Toronto Rock are 23-2 lifetime as well between Maple Leaf Gardens and the Air Canada Centre. Give the Rock as well the edge in terms of games played during this regular season. February 9th, in Philadelphia travel to Toronto. The Rock, in the rarest of occasions, would give up double digits in terms of goals. And while the Wings beat Bob Watson 11 times, they weren't able to contain Toronto's top guns, and the Rock won it 17-11. A month later, and it was off to Philadelphia, a hostile environment for any visiting team. But the Wings played without sniper Tom Marichek, while the Rock systematically shut down Jake Berge, holding Jake to just 1 goal. An 11-7 Toronto victory at First Union Centre back on March the 10th. And the Rock have dominated this series, going 5-1 lifetime versus Philadelphia. They've won their last 5 meetings against the Wings, including semifinal victories in each of the last 2 years. And for the last 9 years, no 2 goaltenders have dominated like Dallas Eliak and Bob Watson. Perennial first-team All-Pros during that time. Watson led all keepers this season with a goals against average of just under 9. Eliak, the catalyst, of course, behind 4 world championships for the Philadelphia Wings.
Thanks very much, Paul, and welcome to a sold-out Air Canada Centre as we take a look at the tenders of the Twine Tents. Dallas Eliak gets the start in goal for the Philadelphia Wings. He was 9-3 on the year, 12.62 his goals against average in the regular season, and of course a winner last week. At the other end of the floor is Bob Watson. In there amidst his teammates, he is 10-2 in the regular season, had another one last week, and he had a league best and a league record 8.89 goals against average. The officials tonight: Bill Fox is the crew chief, Chet Couture and Mike Ventura are the other officials, and Paul Ravery and Scott Malloy will work in the timer's box. And there is Bill Fox getting set to get this game underway. Steve Toll will come to the face-off area, and Jamie Hanford will move in. We want to say hello to everybody along the Empire Sports Network as well, and a special hello to the Philadelphia Wings marketing and sales staff back at the First Union Center who are watching it with us. And we are underway. A loose ball as Veltman comes up with it. Quickly off to the side for Steve Toll, and he decides to hold up instead of taking the quick shot. Toll getting it back, and it is Chris Langdale trying to pull his way to the front of the net. Doyle and Squire work the right side. Here's Doyle, and he shot over top of the net. Langdale with a loose ball. Back out in top it comes. Toll to the other side, and his shot goes wide. 5 seconds on the shot clock, but it is controlled by Philadelphia. Quickly coming ahead is Tom Ryan. Ryan works in, looks for a shot, and a good shoulder save made by Bob Watson. The ball to the far corner for Jake Berge. Berge will try to set things up as Philadelphia's in the midst of a change. Dropping it back. Working to the right side is Mark Millen. Millen to the far side again. Now here's Ratcliffe trying to push his way to the front. Ratcliffe is bodied. Still with the ball. Ratcliffe off to the side now. Shot on goal is smothered by Watson in the goal crease. Both goaltenders looking sharp in the early going.
You're going to see a lot of Ratcliffe, Berge, and Marichuk. The Toronto coaching staff have been watching the tapes, and they say they're on almost every possession.
Not the Rock taking too much time bringing the ball up.
And that was a bad move. That was a mental mistake, although that 10 seconds seemed to go fast.
Brought right back in by Finneran. Finneran trying to go wide. Had it knocked out of his stick, but then Toronto, Gelsvik lost his stick, and when he played it with his hand, it immediately went to Philadelphia.
He was thinking hockey there for a second.
Yeah. Clark gets it back to Berge. Here's Jake Berge pulling his way to the front against Bullen, who drove him to the carpet. Trying to move in is Marichuk, number 42. Watched by Pat Coyle. Great move by Marichuk, and a toe save made by Watson. Ball on the carpet, thrown to Watson. Watson getting it ahead for Gelsvik, and he's got a lot of open space. Pulls it up. Toronto to the attack, and Danny Stroop works with Toth. Now Kim Squire on the far side. Trying to move in is Chris Gill. Shooting! And an elbow save made there by Elliott, and a good one. Rebound controlled by Squire. Squire, or at least this is Millen working the far side. Now Squire at the top. Rod Squire to Stroop. Shot deflects wide of the goal. It's a full 30 on the clock. Caleb Toth diving, no, spinning, still with the ball, then lost it. It's on the carpet. Danny Stroop after it, but it is controlled by Philadelphia. Elliott will start the ball up the floor for the Wings. No score here in the first quarter, and we're glad you're along with us. Millen works it into the corner. Now tries to pursue to the front. Being chased, Millen with an outside shot, scooped away there by Watson. Ball on the carpet, but is controlled by Toronto. Quickly ahead for Gelsvik. Gelsvik with players coming out the front door, heads to the bench. Good pace as Steve Toll tries to push the attack. Gets it out into the slot, and a shot is wired wide of the goal by Beltman. That bounds over the timeline, and Philadelphia will gain possession. Good pace, but no scoring.
It's a real good pace, and Toronto's done a good job since that 10-second violation of getting the ball up the floor very quickly. They've tried to improve that this season, and they really have.
Philadelphia with the ball. Berge working to the middle. Dishes off to Kevin Finneran. Finneran, an outside shooter, and that went wide. Controlled by Marichuk. 12 seconds on the clock. Shot stopped by Watson, but a fresh 30 is put up on the sheet. Then Coyle runs over his man, and it will be Philadelphia ball.
That was a nice save by Bobby Watson, but they can't give Marichuk that shot. He's dangerous from out there.
Jeff Ratcliffe, the rookie from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, who went to Maryland for his collegiate career, and now it is turned over again, and Toronto has the ball. Here is speedy Stevie Toll bringing it up the left side. Works as a correctional officer in Uxbridge, outside Toronto. Far side it goes. Rod Squire and Stroop. Squire to the front. Stroop, a shot right on. Good save. The rebound is smothered at the side of the net and controlled by Dallas Elliott with a quick outlet. Jay Jalbert bringing it down the right side and with room. Going to the net. Knocked out of his stick just at the last second. Good hustle there by Caleb Toth.
That was a beautiful stick check just before he shot. He knew it was coming back. It was a beautiful play.
Here is Beltman, the perennial All-Pro and captain of this Toronto team. Dishes it off. Steve Toll works to the middle. Good pressure there on Doyle. Doyle gets wide as Hanford couldn't handle him, and a shot is stopped by Elliott. Neither team's been able to score, but the ball's being turned over to Toronto on a hit from behind on Kim Squire.
That was a little bit of a late hit. but possession call, and I'd rather see possession calls than penalty minutes.
10:03 to go first quarter. We're looking for the first goal of the championship game. Squire bowled over from behind, and the ball turned over on Elliott outlets. Mike Booza bringing it ahead. Millen working in, Huntington, New York native. Millen with good quickness, but then decided to orchestrate the offense by bringing it back, working one-handed here. Millen now works with the right-hand shot, sends it across to the far side. Millen works to the front as Jake Berge has it back in the goal with 3 seconds on the shot clock. They might not get it off, and they won't. Good defense by Toronto, and we're going to take a break on the floor. No score, first period, the National Lacrosse League Championship.
Well, I think the biggest thing is for us to get out to establish ourselves early. We've dug ourselves a hole the last couple trips up here, and Toronto is absolutely the team that you do not want to have to play from behind against, because they make you work for everything, make you earn every goal you get. So once you've gotten a little bit behind, it's just, I mean, it's tough enough when you're even and or hopefully ahead, but to get yourself behind early is a bad situation. So we're going to try and get out, make sure we establish ourselves at both ends of the floor, and play with the kind of composure we have all year.
Philadelphia is 4-0 when they've led at the end of the first quarter. We've got 9:18 to go in this. Here's Toth diving! Stopped by Elliott. He stood his ground as Caleb Toth tried to go to the top part of the net. Back the other way, Tom Slate.
We saw a play like that last week with a spectacular play by Toth. Didn't look like he fooled Elliott at all on that one, though.
Jason Clark working in, still with the ball. Clark with a little head fake, tries to move to the middle. Ball knocked out of his stick. Now loose on the carpet, and Clark couldn't take it away from him. 3-on-2 rush. Clark down low. Shot! Stopped by Watson. Good save off Kevin Finneran. And then Finneran is sat upon by Terry Bullen.
Jason Clark played junior lacrosse in Mississauga, picks up a loose ball here, goes to the net, passes to Finneran, the all-time assist leader for Philly. But Terry Bullen was right on him.
Jason Clark from New Westminster, British Columbia. Here's Colin Doyle, and that was stuffed in a big pileup, and bodies all over the place down in that goal crease area. Want to go to the net? You got to sign your life away and pay a price, and Colin Doyle knows all about that price.
It was discussed in the paper. I think Terry Bullen was quoted saying that a lot of the guys in Philly don't like to run through the middle. We know Toronto's not guilty of that. Colin Doyle, he takes a lot of punishment, but he scores the goals.
Here is Clark. Now out to Millen. Mark Millen with a shot. Scores! First goal of the game will go to Philadelphia as Mark Millen.
And he's running down the middle of this. As he gets the ball, Mark Millen, he's a dangerous shooter himself. You're going to see a lot of him. He's got fantastic footwork. There's nothing fancy about this one, though. He just gets a little room here, and he gets a step on Craig Gelsvik. Pops it into the bounce shot.
Mark Millen on the regular year had 23 goals.
He's a dangerous shooter. Those are actually low numbers by his standards. But he's got some of the best foot speed in the league.
So, unlike last week, when Toronto scored the first goal of the game, this time it is Philadelphia who will open the scoring in the National Lacrosse League Championship game. 1-0. Caleb Toth being double-teamed, tried to feed it in for Danny Stroop. Stroop on the carpet trying to find a loose ball, flips it in. The shot is stopped by goaltender Elliott. Here's another shot. That bounces wide. As trying to get a shot away there was Ken Millen. Philadelphia brings it back. Jalbert gets it over the timeline and gives off to Jeff Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe trying to bull his way past Ladouceur, but could not. Ladouceur 6'6" and 250. Clark, little stutter step there against Gelsvik, and then the shot was blocked. Gelsvik, after a loose ball, has scooped it up into Philadelphia territory. And is it Philadelphia ball?
Well, the 30-second shot clock went, but I think what Philadelphia is arguing is that Toronto got the ball before it was over, and Toronto wins that one. I would probably agree with Philly.
Looked like he just threw it over the timeline to get it into Philadelphia's zone.
You're wiser, you see, to not even pick up that ball if you've only got a couple seconds left in the shot clock. But Toronto got a little break there.
Ball will be brought in by Chris Langdale. Langdale gets it off now to Colin Doyle. Squire working the pick and roll. Doyle still with the ball. Doyle into the corner to Squire, and the whistle. Turned over. An illegal pick thrown there by Toronto. A moving pick, and so Philadelphia has the ball. Many of the rudiments of basketball in place here as far as the rules of lacrosse. The pick and roll game is so important, but you can't be moving when you throw the pick.
Oh, exactly. It's got to be a stationary pick. You can cheat as long as you don't get caught.
Here goes Speedy Stevie. Toll breaking in, shoots, hit the goal post. Rebound rolls to the goal line. Still loose shot over top of the goal by Coyle. Fans thought it was in, but I'm pretty sure it hit the post. And there are no video replays in this league.
Now you're going to see the speed of Toll. Now I thought it looked like it touched the mesh, but they never called that a goal.
No, crossbar and post and down outside the line.
And you know what? Even if it does touch the mesh in this sport, like you say, there's no video replays. Those ones are too close to call. They're never a goal.
Here's Millen.
But that one didn't go in.
Millen outside shot just wide. Long rebound controlled by Stille. Now to Millen. Pass partially broken up there by Coyle, then some shoving in front of the goal with Ratcliffe and Ladouceur. But it is Toronto ball.
And they were really giving it to each other. Dan Ladouceur gave him a nice two-hander across the legs, and I guess the referee felt that it was just a little payback. So far, the referees are letting the guys play ball.
From about 200 feet away, you can say it was a nice two-hander.
Nice is relative to who gave it.
And how close you are to it.
That's when it's better to give than to receive.
That's right. Here's Rod Squire. Came back into the lineup when Glenn Clark broke his ankle, but Clark back now, and Squire works here. Here's Slate. 1-0 Philadelphia, 5 minutes, 6 seconds to go. First quarter. Finneran trying to work wide on Clark, knocked out of his stick. Loose ball, Finneran having problems with it, and Clark making him pay for it, and Clark comes away with the loose ball. Clark trying to protect the ball and has open space. Clark taking it to the net, fakes, and then had it flop right out of his stick. Quickly transitioned up ahead for Elliott, but intercepted there. And Clark is upset, and so is Veltman. They're starting to feel their oats here in the opening quarter. One 0 Philadelphia, first quarter here in the Air Canada Centre in Toronto. Molson Export Rock Lacrosse is brought to you by Molson Export. Had X today.
Here you're going to see some great work by Glenn Clark. One-on-one solo stick check, but it's the work after this. He's right on top of Finneran, and Finneran's hearing footsteps. Clark finally picks up the ball, gets a 2-on-1. 2-on-1, but good work here by Ratcliffe running back to see the stick check just the last. Actually, he got him on the shoulder. Clark expended all of his energy in his own end, didn't have much left there.
Kevin Finneran owns a lacrosse marketing company from Long Island, New York.
And Finneran, he is a great player. He's all-time leader in assists for the Philadelphia team.
10th season in the National Lacrosse League. So both teams have a great deal of experience to draw upon.
There you see the numbers on Finneran.
Two-time All-Pro. Langdale and Veltman open things up now with Colin Doyle. Squire now off to Toll. Toll looks for Colin Doyle, and he got the pass but couldn't handle it. Slate takes it to safety. Stilly brings it up, and now it is Slate running it over the timeline. Here's Tom Ryan. Pretty easy to spot Tom Ryan on the floor, even if you can't see his number. He's got the long locks going. Loose ball, and now a shot goes wide of the goal. Flipped ahead, and Toll couldn't come away with it. Clark turns it right back into the slot area. It went for Maricek outside now. Ryan a shot. Good save. Big rebound in front. Still over the shoulder. Scores! Tom Fair. Now we get all kinds of problems. Tom Fair had all kinds of time. Speaking of the long locks, but Fair has made it 2-0, I believe. And now Ryan and Pat Coyle are discussing thing, and Gelsvik is over there along with Ryan. Ryan is 6'2" and about 195, depending on the length of the hair, I guess.
This is Tommy Fair's first shift on offense. Tommy Fair is from Brampton, Ontario. All these guys know him well. An in-your-face kind of player, and with some finishing touch. He's played mostly defense for these guys. They rely on his Canadian expertise on defense, but he always was a good scorer in junior and senior. Not a prolific one, but a good one. Here you see he does have some finishing touch. And this is what it's all about. He said something to Bob Watson after that goal. I'll tell you, if it was anyone but Tommy Fair, it might not have turned into this.
11-11, the time of the goal for Tom Fair. During the regular year, he had 4 goals, and Philadelphia has taken a 2-0 lead. Gelsvik in the box along with the Philadelphia player, and I'm not sure whether it wasn't fair. Well, it was fair because it was a penalty, but his name is Fair, so I think he's in the box as well.
Tony Resch has got what he's wanted. He's got a strong start, and it is Tommy Fair in the box for 2 minutes.
The ball to an open wing, jammed at, and this is exactly what Philadelphia coach Tony Resch had hoped for, a good start in the Toronto Rock building, and it is something I'm sure Les Bartley was concerned about. Rochester has been the Rock's main nemesis over the last 2 years in championship game play. So whether they were at all maybe looking past this and figuring that Philadelphia might have been an easier target, hard to say. Good hard shot there by Toth, went wide. And then Toth gets shoving in there with Jay Jalbert. Jalbert and Toth pushing and shoving, and then they back off. Slate getting it ahead for Ratcliffe. And the Wings, if nothing else, have tried to go bump for bump and hit for hit with the Rock thus far, and have shown that they can do it and are ahead 2-0. Ratcliffe trying to muscle his way to the front of the net, and he did with a shot that went off Watson wide of the goal.
That was good work by Ratcliffe. That's when somebody needs to come in and help.
Finneran, and a time violation there as they run out of time. Watson will inbound, and here is Steve Toll. 2-0 in favor of Philadelphia. 2:34 to go in the period. Squire stepping in, scores! Kim Squire has had some great nights against Philadelphia, and he opens the scoring for Toronto here.
Wait till you see the play by Colin Doyle here. Doyle doesn't get an assist, but he throws a pick. A big-time pick that knocks 2 guys down. Wait till you see this. Now, he doesn't always get an assist, but watch this pick by Colin Doyle. Ties up 2 men. Kim Squire can just walk right in. That's a beautiful and legal play. Sometimes when you're throwing a pick, you try to pick 2 guys, and that's what he did. That was a great play by Colin Doyle, and good finish by Kim Squire.
So it is a 2-1 game, as here the Wings back to the attack, and a shot hit the goalpost. Brought back now by Toronto. Pat Coyle runs the offense. Toll to his left. Back for Coyle. Outside shot. Off the crossbar. Bounds back towards the timeline and over. Coyle. Now, I've thought that would have been blown dead, but it is.
No, I think because it was a shot on net, Joe.
Off the crossbar.
Off the crossbar when it came back. Well, that was some nice passing. It was a good backhand drop pass, if you want to call it that.
Toad looks for the ball. Out top, shot by Rod Squire. Bounded off the backboards and into the mesh. And it'll be Philadelphia ball. 2-1 with a 1:28 to go here, first period. Jalbert gets it ahead for Kevin Finneran. Finneran working towards the middle, but out top. Lots of traffic inside, and a shot scores! Berge with a nice little feed from Finneran extends the margin back to 2.
This is a very quick release from Berge as he comes around the top. Almost like a one-timer. It's not quite a quick stick. But watch, he just catches this ball coming around the top. He comes around here, he gets caught up. The guys are caught up in the pick. He doesn't handle that ball for long. He just shoots. You're going to see Berge's coming from down low through the middle. Nice shot.
Berge from Finneran. And Jake Berge in the regular year had 44 goals and led the team in loose balls as well. And it is Toronto ball with 1:01 to go in the quarter.
Toronto was just starting to get a little momentum there. See if they can regain it.
Squire looked for the pick and roll, and Doyle misfired on the pass. Brought back by Philadelphia. Hustling in is Tom Ryan. Underhanded pass for Millen. Mark Millen. Outside for Marichek. He did not play in the game in Philadelphia. Now a loose ball on the floor, scooped to the net. Intercepted by Toronto. Dished ahead. Toll trying to come up with it. He's got that great speed in the move, but can't find a way to get around the defense. Now decides to hold up with 15 seconds left in the quarter. Toll may be calling timeout here. And it is a timeout, Toronto. There is Stevie Toll as he heads back to the bench. Young man, 6 feet, 185 pounds, 26 years of age, from St. Catharines, is a firefighter.
Here you're going to see this break by Toll. Hanford coming back, plays some solid D, not to let Toll around, just delays him long enough to get some help. Steve Toll has got the speed. Coach Tony Resch told me before the game that he thinks he's one of the most underrated players in the league. They say that he's really been a killer against Philly, and they didn't really know much about him until this year.
So it will be Toronto ball. I mentioned Steve Toll being a firefighter. Actually, he is with the correctional service, as we mentioned earlier. All of these guys have second
when
jobs.
in doubt, just say they're a firefighter.
Yeah, it works.
Firefighter, yeah. Cop, or teacher.
Tommy Slate is a strength coach, so I'm sure he's in fairly decent condition for Philadelphia.
Well, they better be.
Can't play this game unless you are. Caleb Toth outside, and the net is empty as Toronto goes with 6 attackers. Toth being forced a little bit, now works into the middle, dishes back, errant pass, Squire shoots over top of the goal, and the quarter comes to an end. So Philadelphia, who has not lost this year when they've led at the end of the first period, will carry that into the second quarter. They lead at the end of one, 3-1.
Ed Como is an assistant coach with the Toronto Rock, and Ed, you're down by a couple of goals, but no sense of urgency on this bench here, just resolved to get the job done.
No, we have a good game plan. We got to stick to it and keep working, try to get in the middle a little tougher, and bury some shots inside.
What about cutting down Philadelphia's time and space inside your defensive zone?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a concern. We definitely want to reduce the number of uncontested shots. So we got a good game plan, and we're focused on doing that.
Thanks, Ed. Joe, this has been a Molson Export Bench Report.
Thank you, Paul. This is just the second time this season that the Toronto Rock have been held to 1 goal in the opening quarter of a game. The other was against Albany. Maricek to Millen, trying to get by Ladouceur. Millen takes it back to the goal. From an angle, the pass in front, stopped by Watson on a good save, and Glenn Clark now looks to outlet and gets it ahead. Toll with Coyle with him, but going to the bench. Toll will hold it off until some offense arrives on the floor. Toll works to the left side. Now up top for Kim Squire. An errant pass, but Colin Doyle has tracked it down. Back to Squire, and he shot it. Scooped there by goaltender Elliott wide of the net. Dallas Elliott is a freelance artist by trade. Pretty darn good goaltender, a Vancouver native. Pass in now, Ratcliffe scores! Jeff Ratcliffe got hammered just as he let the ball go, but it's squeezed by Watson, and it is 4-1 Philadelphia.
Bob Watson should have had this one. He did get hammered, but he managed to shoot the ball, and I think it kind of threw off Bobby Watson. You're going to see it was almost like a delayed throw. Watch, Bobby Watson sort of changed his angle as he got hammered.
21 goals on the year for Ratcliffe in the regular season, and that one finds the corner. And the Port Coquitlam, BC native, and a first-round pick a year ago, has made it 4-1
this year, Joe.
Well,
all rookie team. He's played great against the Rock.
That has shown you why he made that team. And Philadelphia owns the faceoff and a 4-1 lead. Berge trying to get wide on Bullen, and he shot it wide. Big rebound to the near boards, and a hit there by Pat Coyle takes his man down, and time will run out. 4-1 Philadelphia. And the Toronto Rock, unlike the second quarter of their semifinal when they poured it on against Washington, scoring 3 times and mustering 26 shots on goal, they had just 10 in the first quarter. Here is Caleb Toth trying to get away from Hanford. Now a penalty is coming here to Philadelphia. Chris Gill gets it up top for Rod Squire. Now an outside shot by Toth is blocked, and the whistle will go here as time runs out. So the first power play of the game is going to go to the Toronto Rock.
And they need one right now. Seem to be in the doldrums.
Jalbert going to the penalty box. And Toronto during the regular year were 40 of 84 in the power play, 47.6%, 4th best in the league. They'll work the outside, and a loose ball is controlled and pushed up the floor quickly by Peter Jacobs. Now he decides to hold it off. Jacobs up for Slate. Slate intent on killing off some time here. Now heads to the bench. Here is Ratcliffe having it knocked out of his stick. Toronto turns the ball over. Getting it ahead now for Glenn Clark. Clark will hold up and wait for offense to come out the front door.
Toronto's power play did have great success against Philly, though, Joe. They were 9 for 15, 60%.
Doyle up top with a pass that was blocked. Squire has the loose ball. Squire with a shot, smothered, loose in front, and it is corralled by Bouza. Michael Bouza brings it back up the floor for Philadelphia, leading 4-1. Bouza doesn't shoot it. Fair looking for Bouza to send it back to him. Now he decides to head to the bench. Bouza holds the ball on the near side with 48 seconds left to go in the penalty. First of the game for either team that would put them a man short. This is Mark Millen working against Gelsvik, and then is slammed to the carpet by Pat Coyle.
And that's a good play by Coyle. If they're going to be playing him, they might as well hammer him. They're playing the same guys offensively all game. They might as well get their shots in whenever they can.
All of the power plays from tonight's championship game brought to you by the Recreational Hockey Network. Log on to www.rechockey.net for all your rec hockey information. Ball on the carpet. Gill gets it back and controlled for Kim Squire. 22 seconds on the shot clock. Fresh 30 now as the shot was stopped by Elliott. Toronto with the ball down low, and a shot is deflected there. After it is Gill. Gill trying to come out in front, and he had it scooped out of his stick and out of the penalty box. Now with a long lead pass goes to Jalbert, going to the net. Jalbert shoots, and that bounces wide of the goal. Watson may have got a piece. Hanford bringing it back and controlling the ball, and a timeout on the floor will go, I believe, to Philadelphia. 10 minutes and 33 seconds remaining in the second period, and the Philadelphia Wings have jumped to a 3-goal lead, and Tony Resch with a bit of a discussion there, but has to be rather pleased with the way his team has gone.
You're going to see some good defense by Jacobs on Chris Gill. Strips him of the ball and throws it up to Jalbert coming out of the penalty box. Good effort by Caleb Toth coming back. He switches hands here. Jalbert was a great field lacrosse player in his rookie year. Hasn't scored much, but I think Tony Resch has sort of put the reins on him a bit. He's trying to get him into this game slowly. He's playing a bit more defense than offense. He's adding to their transition game.
10:33 to go in the first half. They have better than 19,000 in the building here tonight. Chet Couture talking with Resch. And here we go. Berge stumbled but regains. Now gets around Bullen, and a shot is stopped. The rebound. Another shot stopped by Watson. The ball is thrown high down the right side. Corralled by Toronto. Clark gets by his man. Clark with a shot, and he sent it wide of the goal. Ball controlled by Philadelphia. Hanford gets it ahead. Tom Fair controlling. Fair with a shot. That was stopped. Rebound, Gelsvik. Gelsvik looking for an outlet. Gets it ahead to Steve Toll. He can't press the attack. Toll pulls it up now and will wait for an offensive setup. Toll and Beltman. Beltman had the stick knocked out of his hands, had to come back trying to work a pick. Toll fakes the shot, then loses the ball. And Toronto has been guilty of losing possession on some good stick checking by the Philadelphia Wings, at least 3 or 4 times here. Back come the Wings with Millen.
Some of that's, I think, indecision, Joe. The stick's hanging out a bit too much, and they're jumping on it.
Another good save by Watson. Pass into the slot for Jake Berge. Now Millen a shot, and Watson down low wouldn't allow that through the 5-hole. But Philadelphia has outshot the Rock 20-14. Lead pass, shot by Toth, is off the goal post. Rebound loose in the offensive zone, and it rolls in on goal. Elliott gets it ahead. Tom Ryan bringing it back for the Wings. Into the corner it goes. A shot by Fair, scores! Tom Fair let the hard outside shot go, and Watson got a piece of it, but not enough. And it is 5-1 Philadelphia.
And we haven't seen many offensive shifts where Fair has been on, and here you see Tom Ryan's even on his wrong side. Now this is a time you can't let them score. This is a bad one. Bob Watson simply misplayed it. But they must be giving Berge and Marichuk a rest, because they've got one right on there with a left. Tommy Fair's been playing mostly defense. Can't let that happen.
Philadelphia wins the face-off and the possession of the ball, and they have a 5-1 lead. As Tony Resch says, you don't like to play Toronto from behind because they make you earn every goal. Well, conversely, a lead against Toronto, and the Rock do not have the offensive individuals that some of the other teams do. As we see the shot off the post that came close, but not enough for a goal. Molson Export Rock Lacrosse is brought to you in part by Yamaha, exceeding expectations. Coaches Les Bartley and Tony Resch. Hard to tell who's ahead. Both very intent. This game can shift very dramatically, though.
It's the kind of game, Joe, you can't relax till it's over. 4 or 5 goals doesn't mean a lot.
A shot goes wide, and the Rock have been guilty of missing the net a lot. Back come Philadelphia. Dished off on the right side. Here's Finneran organizing the offense. Back up top for Ratcliffe. He's had a tremendous first half. And then as he crashes into the net, he's going to be charged with interfering with Bob Watson.
Let's go. Let's go. There's no push. They're right through the crease. Pick up the stick.
Chet Couture was right on top of that. We're going to see it again. Watch, do you think he ran at Bob Watson? In Chet Couture's opinion, he did.
So Toronto goes to their second power play of the game. Ratcliffe in the penalty box, and the Rock have to get feeling better about themselves in a hurry here. Power play for Toronto. Squire and Doyle working the right side. Gill up top, works to the other side. Stroop now back in for Doyle to Squire. Shot from way out, had no chance as it was deflected a dozen seconds, and a shot goes well wide of the goal again. Saved by Gill, but he can't do anything with it. Tom Fair now with control. Had control, got it back again. Plays it ahead to a man coming out of the front door. Millen fakes the shot, still has it. Now trying to kill off some time. Millen guarded by Gelsvik. Got around both, diving, and that was stopped by Watson, who got big there in order to make the save. They're calling that Millen was in the goal crease. Ball to Toronto.
Millen's a left shooter who can also shoot right, and he's been shooting from both sides of the floor quite a bit today.
He was an all-pro in 97-98. Mark Millen. Gill up top, working the other side. Stroop. The pass for Doyle went astray, and here still loose on the carpet. Squire can't get a shot away as his stick was hooked. Now it's free in the near side. Controlled by Stroop down low. Gill shot it over top of the goal. He thought it was in, but it went over top of the net. Elliott may have got a piece. Jamie Hanford with Lattiser chasing him. And a whistle here. And let's wait and see what they're going to do. A timeout called Philadelphia. 37 seconds left to go in the power play. The shots favor Philadelphia 22-17, and so does the scoreboard 5-1. Here's a look at the two coaches and what tremendous records they have had.
Yeah, you can see the championships, 8 championships between the two of them.
And 7 of the last 9 championship teams have had these guys in behind the bench. Les Bartley, of course, started his career in Buffalo. Molson Export Rock Lacrosse brought to you in part by the new Chevy Silverado. Heavy duty by Chevy Trucks. 6:23 to go in the first half. And the Rock fans in the Rock pile haven't had an awful lot to holler about. The last time an opportunity to win 3 in a row, Les Bartley's team in Buffalo was stopped by the Philadelphia Wings. So winning 3 has never been done, and Philadelphia is quite intent on making sure it doesn't happen here tonight. And they've shown it in the first half as the long shot is smothered by Bob Watson. Len Clark brings it up. Now Jimmy Veltman working the offensive side of the floor. And let's see, he doesn't work up here all that often, but maybe his experience is required here. Shot over top, Danny Stroop. Good save by Elliott. He dove through there, and Elliott went low to make the save. Stroop looked like he had a gimme. Ratcliffe, bounce pass. Millen had to go off his stick. Back of the net, he controls. Millen trying to come out in front with a little fake. Millen holds the ball. Penalty is over. Philadelphia's killed off the first 2 power play opportunities Toronto's had. Ladouceur gets beat, and then a long shot is stopped by Watson. Rebound to Radcliffe. Radcliffe pulling his way out in front. Shot goes over top of the goal. Rebound comes back out and still controlled by Berge. Fresh 30 on the clock. And Toronto has looked a little disorganized defensively as the shot bounds wide. Back of the net is Berge. Trying to center, can't. Here's Ryan winding it up, and he hammered it wide. Rebound to Millen, who changes hands, and that went wide. Bouncing ball out at center. Brought up by Glenn Clark. Clark going to the net, loses the ball, and it is scooped up there by Elliott. Another uncontested turnover. Hanford back in the center area.
Defense has been on for a long while, so Glenn Clark especially, he's had to run up the floor and back.
Philadelphia controls on the far side. Jason Clark from New Westminster. Out top now for Marichek. His shot stopped by Watson. Marichek has the rebound. Couldn't get it in front. Then took a great two-hander there at Pat Coyle. Back of the goal is Marichek. Coyle pulling his way in front. And now brings the ball up with a quick pass to center. In comes Millen. Going to the net. Shoots over top of the goal. And the rebound is controlled by Philadelphia. Brought back by Gelber. Dished off, and Finneran will take control. 3:46 to play in the half, and it is 5-1 Philadelphia. Berge holding the ball. 7 seconds on the shot clock, and a whistle, and we've got something going here. Rod Squire and Tom Ryan.
They were really going at it for a while there.
And Squire trying to get free. There's a stick caught up in the middle of all of this, and a lot of hair.
How do you not pull hair in this situation?
Pretty tough. Squire's throwing punches now. Oh, he's got the jersey over his head. Couple right hands. Ryan trying to get it going again. Jersey's pulled up. Ryan really took a couple right on the old bugle right there. Rod Squire and Tom Ryan, and they'll be separated. Things are heating up. It's 5-1 Philadelphia.
The Toronto Rock in dire need of a momentum change and a boost, and Pat Coyle, Rod Squire may have provided you guys with exactly that.
Yeah, that was a good play by Roddy, but I mean, we're spectators right now. We're watching these guys beat us to loose balls. They're getting multiple possessions on offense. Our defense is getting tired, and we're not putting the ball in it. So
does a change of game plan happen inside the defensive zone and then out?
Yeah, I think we need to be, we need the ball, and maybe our offense, we need to hang on to it a little more, but I mean, just work harder.
Thanks, Pat. Good luck. This has been a Molson Export Bench Report. Joe, back up to you.
Thanks very much, Paul. 3:34 to go in the first half, and I think some of the frustration in the voice there of Pat Coyle. And there's a look at the loose balls that Philadelphia is leading in 33-27.
Yeah, and you don't see that too often. The Rock, that's one of their fortes is loose balls. But I think the good point that Pat made there was they're not keeping the ball long enough. Sometimes I think because they're getting a little frustrated, they're taking some low percentage shots early in the shot clock.
One goal in the first quarter, so far none here in the second. And Philadelphia has scored twice to extend their lead. Marichek working on the ball. Got away from Coyle. Now to the other side to Millen. He looked like he was going to change hands on the shot. Millen then is bowled over on a big hit, and Toronto owns the loose ball.
And they're getting a penalty, Joe. They called him for a trip. Gelsvik's going off.
It's a holding call. 2 minutes. So the first power play of the game is going to, or at least the first power play for Philadelphia comes as a result as Gelsvik goes to the box.
So far, Philly's penalty killing has been perfect. See how Toronto can do it.
5-1. Millen. Marichek. Millen. Shot. Scores! Mark Millen drew the penalty and scores the power play goal, and it is 6-1 Philadelphia. His second goal of the game, his third of the postseason. And Philadelphia has owned the first half.
Toronto is not getting a break so far. Everything's not going their way. This is the first shot on the power play. It's a nice shot. Toronto had 2 power plays, couldn't beat Elliott so far. 1 shot in the power play, puts it in a nice bouncer.
And now a turnover here on the face-off play. There's a look at Mark Millen, Huntington, New York area. He's a sales rep for Warrior Lacrosse. And a shot goes over top of the goal, but another possession here for Philadelphia. Millen holding the ball. Now works to the middle. Millen, cross-check, got the shot away, bounds wide. Watson scoops it away. Watson to Pat Coyle. Coyle bringing it up. A pass off to the side, and Toll tried to make a one-time feed in front for Doyle, and it didn't work. Those are the plays that worked so well last week against Washington, and the concentration just not here, and not getting them completed here tonight thus far. But a long way to go with 1:55 to go in the first half. A 6-1 Philadelphia lead, though. Finneran loses the ball. Bullen kicking at it, still loose on the carpet. Controlled, though, by Jason Clark, and time runs out on the shot clock. Washington last week down 5-1, came back and took the lead. Toronto's got to take some momentum shifting here, but Squire trying to do it all himself isn't going to do it. Pass in and a shot. That hit the goal post. Squire has it again. Out top it goes to Beltman. Now to Colin Doyle. Doyle working in. Doyle trying to pull his way through. Another turnover. And a Toronto ball, though.
Ball down.
21 seconds on the shot clock.
You're right, Joe. Sometimes they try to do it themselves. When you're getting frustrated, guys feel they have to be the hero and try to come up with a big play.
Squire in for Doyle. Shot stopped, but he stepped in the goal crease, I believe, or was a holding call coming here? It may be, yes. Bill Fox coming to the box. A holding call will give Toronto its third power play.
You're going to see Doyle and Squire pick and roll. Watch when Doyle goes to the net. He can't get, see, he's got that arm. He can't get 2 arms on the stick because Jalbert has him. They have to score in this power play.
Pass inside. Gill lost it. Fair throws it through the middle, but he ran the ball through the goal crease. So Toronto gets possession again.
They seem to be dropping the balls. They're just a little nervous. I don't know what it is. They're not catching them, not finishing.
Squire. Gill up top. And a bad pass is gobbled up here by Philadelphia. Tom Slate has possession and has it over the timeline. That was Caleb Toth who misfired on the pass. Berge working up top. Philadelphia scored 4 or 5 even strength goals and 1 power play goal. Berge with an avenue to the net. Shoots. That was stopped by Watson. And the rebound is controlled by Toronto. Pat Coyle bringing it up the floor. Caleb Toth is with him. Coyle to Toth. Fakes. Shoots. Scores! Toronto on the board.
This is a very dangerous play by Berge. Comes in, but a great save by Watson. Watches the ball comes up the floor. Pat Coyle knows how much time is left. He decides, I'm not changing. We're taking the 3-on-2. A fake and a bounce shot. Caleb Toth, nice play. It's a 3-on-2 here. You see, he thinks about the pass, makes a fake. Rock calls a timeout. If they can score another one here, they'll go to the penalty box or go to the dressing room in a good frame of mind.
Toth with his third playoff goal after scoring 23 in the regular season. Caleb Toth from Calgary makes it 6-2.
Toronto, that was a key face-off. They just won after that goal. So Toronto has a chance to pull their goalie here, possibly score another and go down the dressing room. 6-3. For the last few years here, Joe.
Philadelphia and Toronto have certainly been a big part of it. The fewest goals that Toronto has scored in a half have been 3. And they are down 6-2 here. That was against New York, Rochester, and Albany last year. So this is an opportunity here to get back into the game. 8 seconds left. Colin Doyle. 4 seconds. Toth outside. They better hurry. Doyle shoots. Stopped by. And it rolls wide of the goal as the buzzer goes. A huge first half for the visiting Philadelphia Wings, as Tony Resch's team has come in here and silenced the crowd to a good extent and taken a 4-goal lead in the first half.
Guys,
Mark Millen with a pair of goals, Tom Fair with a pair, and it is 6-2. And let's go downstairs now to Paul Hendrick.
Thank you, Joe. And Tony Resch, you've had momentum for almost the entire first half. Keeping it going into the second half is going to be a problem with this partisan crowd, but you've done a great job, and so have the Philadelphia Wings.
Yeah, we're it's a good. We're halfway to our stated goal. We're not doing anything spectacular. We're just playing good, hard-nosed lacrosse, trying to be as disciplined as we can. At this point of the season, certainly there are no secrets. We know who their guns are, and they know who ours are, and so far it's been very much toe-to-toe, and we've gotten a couple to fall, but we know they're going to make their run. There's no question about it, and we'll be prepared to deal with that.
Dallas Elliott predictably has played so very well, but Toronto offensively have not had much time to set up and get shots on him.
Yeah, I mean, they have the 2 best goalies in the league, in my opinion, and we've been trying to step out a little bit further and not let them dictate the pace on the as far as their offense is concerned, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that and given Dallas an opportunity to see the ball, and when that happens, he's going to stop more than his fair share.
The Wings have dominated, so what do you tell your troops inside the dressing room prior to the start of the second half?
Well, we're going to try, on the one hand, to ignore what happened. We'll start like it's 0-0 and win 1 shift at a time, but by the same token, just keep doing the same things we've been doing, playing good, physical, active offense, and defensively making sure we're finding our guys, stepping out and challenging every ball carrier.
Thanks for this, Tony. Good luck in that second half.
Thank you very much.
Philadelphia Wings head coach Tony Resch as he heads to the dressing room alongside his team, leading by 4. It's Philadelphia 6 and Toronto 2, and our halftime show is next.
And let's recap tonight's Yamaha game story. Yamaha exceeding expectations.
Well, really, the Rock has done everything they wanted to do. They've limited the shots, spread out the defense. They've had some pick and roll. What they haven't done is they haven't finished, and they haven't done what they normally do.
Philadelphia, boy, I think they've done just about everything they wanted to do there.
Exactly. They've won the loose ball game. They haven't had many fast breaks, but their defense has been tight, and they got off to a strong start, obviously.
Chevy truck matchup. I would suggest probably Toronto's winning this, but it has been the other offensive stars of Philadelphia.
It's really the things that you take for granted from Toronto that's not happening, the solid defense all around. But yeah, these 2 guys have not been a big factor, Berge and Marikchuk, but it's been the other guys, and it's just solid play. They're winning the Rocks game.
Here are the halftime statistics, the shots on goal, but the loose balls has been the biggest key because that's given Philadelphia a number of secondary opportunities offensively. Power plays fairly even, 1 goal apiece, and missed shots. Well, the loose balls have registered more opportunities to shoot the ball.
Well, exactly. And Dallas Elliott has made some big saves. The few chances that the Rock has got in close, he's made the big save.
So, button your chin straps. Here we go for the second half. 6-4 Philadelphia to start the second half. Steve Toll facing off with Jamie Hanford. Toll wins it and bats it back into his own zone. Watson will control, and Toronto has the ball. Pat Coyle getting it ahead.
You're going to really see the leadership of guys like Jimmy Veltman, Pat Coyle. Veltman's been here many times, and so has a lot of these players, and you're going to see the leadership emerge from these guys.
Caleb Toth on the shot by Squire goes wide. Rebound to Dan Stroop, who's had a very quiet first half. Caleb Toth, far side. Stroop driving to the front of the net. 3 seconds on the shot clock, and it went wide. The rebound will come out, but it is a time violation, and it will be pushed back into the Philadelphia zone, denying Jamie Hanford the opportunity to press the attack. Speaking of pressing the attack, you can find out all about what's gone on in the world of sports with Jamie Campbell and Mike Toth coming up right after the lacrosse game. Sports Central. Millen gets it outside. Maricek trying to set things up. Tom Maricek being checked by Coyle. Nice give and go to Berge. He scores! Jake Berge, a huge goal here to start the second half. No, they wave it off. It's waved off.
And that's a huge break, because that give and go, or pick and roll, was executed beautifully.
Did he step into the crease? That's what they are calling.
Well,
Let's
watch this pick and roll. That's a beautiful pick and roll. See, two guys are covering him. Is his foot in?
Right
yes,
there. Yeah, his foot was on the line when he shot the ball.
And look at the sneak plays coming here, Joe.
Coming down the middle. Goaltender out. Doyle, backside. Squire shoots, bounds wide. Goaltender Watson back in the cage. Stroop, Toll, Doyle, shooting. That was off Elliott. First fresh 30 and a new possession for Toronto. Toll in front, shot stopped by Elliott. Loose ball still in front. Elliott down, and it went wide of the goal. Big pile up in front, but Philadelphia ball.
Well, Toronto's turned their offense up a notch, Joe, but they need the defense to hold off Philly. They got burned badly on that pick and roll.
Hey, Jay.
Rod Squire and Tom Ryan have completed their major penalties for fighting and have headed back to their respective benches. The reason for the break.
That sneak play worked perfectly. They just didn't have the finish.
Here is Clark. Whose responsibility is it to let people know about that happening? The bench? Maricek, shot wide.
If you don't know it's coming, there's not much you can do. But the bench, it's too loud. There's not much you can do. Now they've seen it once. They're going to be watching for it.
Clark dishes it off. Stroop works to the right side. Rod Squire had it knocked out of his stick. Stroop possesses. Now down low. Here's Caleb Toth to the net. A shot. That is stopped by Dallas Elliott. Rebound to Toronto. Squire in for Toth. Toth kicking it back to the goal, but is being double teamed here. Caleb Toth loses it, and it is Elliott with the loose ball.
Good defense by Jacobs.
Here's Mark Millen bringing it up. Gelsvik chasing him, and Millen's got great speed. Little bit of a pick there by Ryan. Here's Millen with open field. A pass into Ryan. That was stopped. Big rebound as Watson made a huge save there. Bobby Watson, a behind the back pass, but Ladouceur has difficulties with it. Back come the Wings with a shot off the goalpost. A rebound to the near side. Pass in off a stick of Millen. Bounce high to the far side. Maricek is collided with there by Jimmy Veltman. Veltman for Toronto, and the tempo picking up here in the third quarter. Still 6-2 Philadelphia.
Toronto has to take advantage of the big saves and the lucky breaks they've been getting in their defensive end.
Colin Doyle down in front, slow to get back up onto his feet, but now is. Here's a chance for Squire, can't get through. Doyle loses the ball, and it is corralled by Radenbaugh and brought back up by Radenbaugh to the timeline. Doyle limping to the bench. Finneran. No scoring thus far in the third quarter. 6-2 lead built in the first half by Philadelphia still stands. Finneran Looking for an outside shot. Now running into some traffic. Run into more traffic from Pat Coyle. Pass into the slot. Loose ball on the carpet. And time will run out. Ratcliffe couldn't control. There's Colin Doyle on the bench, and he is in a lot of discomfort. He may have turned an ankle in front of the net. Toronto back to the attack, and Doyle and Squire, who worked so well offensively, half of that tandem is not available. Toth, Rod Squire backhanded it wide of the net. Millen trying to get a loose ball, cannot. Philadelphia with the possession. Slate bringing it back. Dishes it off, and here is Mark Millen. Millen into the slot with a shot, and that bounded wide. A huge rebound off the inboards, and Millen has it. Maricek outside shooting, stopped there by Watson, and Pat Coyle will outlet quickly for Glenn Clark. Clark, if Doyle is unable to go, you've got to start looking for someone like Dan Stroop to maybe get hot. Here's Langdale working outside against Ryan. Can't get around him. Ryan reached around and poked it off his stick. And another possession goes amiss, and out comes Philadelphia. Quickly ahead for Tom Fair. 2 goals in the first half for this 30-year-old veteran. Fair, back of the net, looking to come out in front. Drops it back to Millen, winding, faking. Millen changes hands, takes it around back of the net with Coyle in pursuit. Coyle trying to knock it away, and Bullen finds a different way to get the ball loose. And time will run out. Bullen realized he didn't have to go after that loose ball with time running out. On a good hit by the veteran, but Colin Doyle still hurt. 6-2 Philadelphia.
Well, interested bystanders at tonight's championship game include Charles Oakley of the Toronto Raptors and Jason Williams of the New Jersey Nets. And you're not only a player, you're going to be an owner now in the National Lacrosse League, going from the NBA to this league. And the New Jersey Storm and your St. John's alumni certainly going back to those roots as well.
Well, Charles, I tell you what, this is a real sport here. It's not like us prima donnas who got paid all these millions of dollars and go out and get hurt like myself and never play again, or get fouled and never play. These guys go out here and give it their heart and their soul, and I really fell in love with this game. And these guys out here, they're weekend warriors, and I love to see them play.
And I think when we look at New Jersey, a real blue-collar, certain community down in those ways, they'll appreciate the effort that these players put up.
No question. You know, New Jersey is a blue-collar. You know, Charles Oakley played in New York as we spoke. They got all the limelight. You know, New Jersey's always the blue-collar worker. These guys were white-collar workers. But I tell you what, these guys right here really put it out. I've never seen a sport that can mix hockey, soccer, you know, everything, and basketball all together now. I just asked Charles Oakley, which one of these, which one would you think an NFL running back can play this game? You know what he told me? I don't think an NFL running back is tough enough.
Good point. And Charles Oakley, when we take a look at this sport, perhaps could we see you and maybe a consortium buying yet another team for the National Lacrosse League, or does the interest end right here?
I don't know. This is my first time coming out and watching them play. My friend Jason bought a team, so as long as I hang around him, anybody rub off on me. Right now, I'm just trying to take interest in watching the game and learn more before I get involved.
19,400 fans in attendance here tonight. There will be 20,000 plus when the Raptors take on the next Sunday. An exciting victory yesterday. You're back here in this building. The crowd will be rabid, and you people certainly poised for the kill, hopefully.
Well, it was a great win for the organization. First playoff win, second year in a row in the playoff. Every year we're getting better. You know, it's all about the fans. They support us all year, and we need them to come out Sunday. You know, they're out tonight supporting the lacrosse team. You know, Toronto's on the rise.
Charles and Jason, thank you. Joe Bowen, back to you.
Thank you very much, Paul. Well, the Toronto Rock on the rise as well. Caleb Toth with his second goal of the game, and it is 6-3.
One-on-one, he gets isolated. They managed to spread the defense out. That's one of the things the Rock wanted to do. They spread out the defense. Nice play. When you spread out the defense enough, you can't get the backup there in time, and that's what happens here.
Shortened up on the stick a little bit and gave him the nice fake. And Caleb Toth has his 4th of the postseason.
The key is that the Philadelphia defense was not tight. They were spread out. You can go one-on-one if you beat your man. They're coming from a long distance if they want to back up.
Well, they've got to within 3. Colin Doyle was back onto the floor during that offensive flurry, so that is good news. Here's Millen, and a big defensive stand here. Scores! Millen over the shoulder. That's a big goal.
That one hurts. Bob Watson was screened on that one. It's just a bad break. Top corner.
4th goal of the postseason and 3rd of the night for Millen.
Now, sometimes you stop them and sometimes they just go in. You see Bob's reaction after that went in. He's letting the guys know I couldn't see. Well, look at the crowd in front right here. He's just standing up. It's a nice shot.
2 goals, 16 seconds apart, and Philadelphia gets the possession on the faceoff. Here's Ratcliffe working down to the right side, being chased there by Ladouceur, who stumbles over a fallen Berkey and then is driven into the goal crease area. Ladouceur heading off as Ratcliffe gets a helping hand from Tom Ryan, who decides to stay up and pressure Bob Watson. Now he breaks back, and Watson's going to walk the ball up the floor a little bit before outletting. Watson's going to take it right up the middle. Now dishes it off. It is 7-3 Philadelphia. And a loose ball stolen. Breakaway effort. Going to the net. Hard fair. Stopped by Watson. Where's the ball? It is in back of the goal. Caleb Toth loses it. Watson swiping at it and comes up with it. And then a big hit there by Toth. Here's Stroop getting it back the other way. Toll in for Langdale. Great save made by Dallas Elliott. Oh, what a hit. And Elliott has a loose ball as Langdale takes exception to Gilbert's hit on him. And where's the ball? It goes to Toronto because of the hit. Here's the last chance. Langdale. Great save by Elliott off the shoulder. Tim Squire. 7-3 score. Squire being marked closely there by Peter Jacobs, who's done a great job defensively on Squire. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Stroop shoots right on. Good save by Elliott. Dallas Elliott has played a number of great years out in the Western Lacrosse Association.
Toronto's going to get a penalty here. Dan Stroop gave a slash at the end of that play.
Now here's Finneran working with an extra attacker on the floor to Berkey. Now to Maricek. Maricek to Finneran to Maricek. The shot bounds wide, and as it is finally controlled by Toronto, here is the penalty. And Dan Stroop goes to the box. Now behind the play infraction after the shot, and it's a slash. And this is the second power play opportunity for Philadelphia. They scored on their first.
It only took them about 10 seconds to score on their first.
There's a shot by Maricek that goes off Watson into the crowd. Philadelphia ball. Maricek outside for Clark. Now Millen faking, shooting. That was stopped. There's a rebound on the carpet. Pat Coyle into the corner with Ratcliffe trying to fish it away, and he does. Ratcliffe gets it back outside. Here's Clark. Now to Millen. Back to Clark. Shooting. Stopped by Watson. They score. What a great goal. Oh, my. What a great goal by Maricek. He scooped that rebound out in front, and over the shoulder, he deposited into the net to make it 8-3.
This is beautiful finish. We've probably seen Maricek score more goals over his shoulder than he has from his forehand. But watch how quickly he gets on top of this ball on the floor. You're going to see the rebound comes out. Maricek has it and in. The goalie can't stop that. It's impossible because the goalie can't play that angle. He's got to play the forehand.
10-7. The time of the goal, 10:07. And it is 8-3 Philadelphia. Rod Squire has the ball. Watson heading to the bench for an extra attacker. Now here is Caleb Toth. 6 attackers on the floor. Shot scores! No goal! No goal! Waved off. Colin Doyle stepped in the goal crease. Let's get a look at it. 6 attackers.
I thought his, yeah. He's in the crease.
No, it was Gill. It was Chris Gill, not Doyle. Chris Gill stepping into the crease. Good call by the officials. Back at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, Philadelphia leading Toronto 8-3 in the National Lacrosse League Championship game. Philadelphia brings the ball up the floor. The Rock fans trying to get something generated. And a pass inside for Finneran didn't work. Back comes Toronto. Steve Toll pressing the attack. Clark goes to the front of the net. Toll dishes it off. Caleb Toth had trouble with it. Back to Steve Toll. Didn't shoot it. Toll holding the ball. Gill comes on to replace Clark. Caleb Toth now working the outside. Gets a bit of a pick and roll. Shot by Doyle is over top of the goal. He was thrown to the carpet. Outside chance. Gill shooting wide of the net. Here's Stroop, and that was stopped in front. Time runs out on the Rock offense. The Wings bring it back up the floor. Stilley hits to the bench, and it is Ratcliffe with the ball. Ratcliffe being bothered there by Ladouceur. Now to Marichek, and he lost it and stepped in the crease. Now some shoving there. Down goes Coyle. Pat Coyle. I don't know whether he was clipped with the stick or maybe trying to draw a penalty here.
He's trying to draw a penalty with that.
Ladouceur and Marichek going here. Another look at Tom Marichek and his great stick work. Now Coyle gets his helmet knocked off by Marichek, who heads back to the Philadelphia bench.
His stick work isn't just for scoring goals, Joe. He can slash with the best of them. Here you're going to see him trying to score. We saw him score one against Rochester from an angle like this. Actually, good D by Ladouceur. Got on in the last second.
Marichek's stick right up underneath the mask right there, yeah. If you've got good hands with the ball, you're able to handle that aspect of lacrosse fairly well too, I would think. Here's Colin Doyle. A behind the back pass in traffic. Veltman trying to get a loose ball but can't. That was an ill-advised pass. Back comes Slate. Toll gets back into the defensive shell, and now here is Tom Ryan with the ball, 7-year veteran of the National Lacrosse League. Pretty sure all 7 years he's never trimmed that hair. Here's Millen into the slot. Berge has 3 seconds left, trying to get a shot away against Ladouceur, and there is the turnover.
And you see how fast these guys are going to the bench, Joe. 3 guys on Philly were running to the bench before that shot clock ended. They
want to eat up the clock. They've got 2:10 to go in this quarter.
They don't want Toronto to get any fast breaks.
Stroop. Here's Toth, and that was stopped by Elliott. Big save. Gill with the rebound, and a chance back in the net. Dallas Elliott has been terrific. A penalty to Philadelphia as Watson heads to the bench. Here's Caleb Toth.
And they're without a stick, too. It's like having a 2-man advantage here.
Down low. Toth fires. Shot. Rebound. Smothered by Elliott. He came out smartly there to take a bit of the angle away from Caleb Toth, and then was able to dive back to prevent any kind of ball rolling into the net. But a power play for Toronto with 1:42 to go in the third quarter.
Caleb Toth has probably been the only player who's been consistently dangerous offensively for Toronto. And they have to score here.
Here's Caleb Toth. Dan Stroop outside for Squire. Shot. Good save, and the rebound right onto the stick of Tom Slate. Slate gets it ahead. Radenbaugh out of the front door comes Finneran. Kevin Finneran Oh, a shorthanded goal would just be a death knell here to the Toronto Rock attempt at winning 3 straight. 8-3 Philadelphia with 1:10 to go now in the 3rd quarter. Long shot goes wide, and it would have been the time violation anyway. Watson is going to bring the ball up the floor. Gives it off, and Dan Stroop brings it into the offensive area along with Toth, who has the ball. On the side for Gill. Now Squire and Colin Doyle. Squire up top for Gill. Toth, the good outside shooter. Squire to Doyle. Looking inside for Stroop. That didn't work. Squire does. Doyle. Pass inside. Shot. Great save made by Elliott. Holy Mackinac, he made a great save there.
That was a great save, Joe. The Rock had some good ball movement. Their play worked there. And Chris Gill doesn't miss too often from that close.
40 seconds left in the power play. Bounce pass. Now Ratcliffe is slammed in against the glass, and the ball turned over to Toronto. Clark is ahead of the play, but it'll be pulled up there by Gelsvik.
With only 5 seconds left. It might have been wise just to go to the net, Joe.
Yep, here's Toth. Outside shot wide. Rebound. Will bounce back. The Philadelphia Wings have extended their lead. They led 6-2 at the half. It's 8-3 after 3.
The Toronto Rock trailing Philadelphia 8-3. Colin Doyle, a sense of urgency here, but head coach Les Bartley saying, let's get them 1 goal at a time.
That's the only way to play this game. Goals come quickly, so if we can maybe get to Dallas early and hope for the best from there. We can't plan on scoring 5 goals in 1 shift, so let's just get her going.
All right, Colin, thanks for this. This has been a Molson Export Bench Report. Joe?
A Philadelphia fan in attendance here. If you are interested, and there are a number of Wings fans there, Comcast in the States and Empire Sports also viewing the game here tonight. The Toronto Rock this year have scored 7 goals in a quarter. It was not against Philadelphia. It was against Ottawa. So it can be done. But they're going to have to solve Dallas Elliott, and he has been sensational when he's had to be. And Philadelphia has played a very solid game from start to the start of the 3rd quarter. Berge. A pass in is intercepted, and speedy Stevie Toll roaring down the floor, trying to get wide, dishes it off, and a pass that doesn't go towards the net. Still loose in the goal crease area. Oh my. Great chances like that have gone amiss. And at the other end now, Philadelphia with the ball. I thought Philadelphia got a pretty good change there.
They got a very good change in that, and I think the referees missed one, but you do what you can get away with.
Toll stole the ball at the line and looked like he was away. A shot is stopped by Watson. Coyle dishes it off. Took a shot from Marichek, and both are going on. Pat Coyle and Marichek will go to the box.
Tommy Fair and Dan Ladouceur were at it in front of the net as well. I think they thought they were getting caught.
So it's Toronto ball, but what appeared that might be a power play is not.
Look at the top of your screen. Oh, they're both going after each other, and they have been all game.
Toronto with the ball on the offense, with a great chance by Toll. With a miss, Colin Doyle. Took a couple of hacks, gets a pick from Squire, shot the ball wide, rebound in front, shot stopped by Elliott, rebound in front of the goal, played away, and now what?
He was called for running into his own
crease. Yeah, Toronto ball.
It wasn't by choice.
No, he was influenced.
That's right. That was another big save, though. Elliott has been great.
Rod Squire loses the ball out of the stick. Gets it back again with Colin Doyle running a pick for him. Rod Squire. Outside, in for Colin Doyle off the boards. Doyle with a dozen seconds left, an errant pass. Caleb Toth corrals it, loses it. And it is Elliott once again. Boy, I'd like to have A dime for each time the ball has been slashed out of their stick in the offense. Philadelphia's done a tremendous job of stick checking.
It's really been great defense. Great defense can make the offense look bad, can make them make bad decisions.
And the defense of Philadelphia has forced Toronto into forcing its own offense. And here they come again. Good defensive exchange by Philadelphia. Here's Toll. Took a bad shot that went well wide, with the rebound controlled out for Millen. Now back in for Gill. Other side. Pass for Millen. Dishes it outside to Gill. Outside shot coming. Bounds wide. Rebound in front. Good defensive coverage. Veltman can't get to it. Now here is Ryan coming out of his own zone. Veltman loses a stick. Ryan pressing the attack and now is going to try and eat up time. The clock is an ally of Philadelphia. 12 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter and they lead by 5. You're going to get 5 trips down the floor. That's not a problem. You've got to be able to find a way to get it by Dallas Elliott. A shot off the goal post. Toronto cannot give up a single goal in this quarter.
No, and really,
Millen.
They've got to be looking to score 2 or 3, get this crowd roaring and give them the momentum. You can't be thinking about getting 5.
Bullen heads to the bench. Rock into the attack. Millen and Veltman. Veltman down low. Trying to get free with Squire. He comes up with the loose ball. Gets a pick from Veltman. Inside shot. Bounds wide. Big rebound. Veltman with it again. Took a shot. Scores! Jimmy Veltman! The captain gets them on their feet. Is it a sign of things to come?
This isn't a great goal either. This is an outside shot. We've seen him do this a few times. But might be what they need to. Makes a save off Squire. Back to Veltman. You're going to see, look how far out he is. And he doesn't get a whole lot behind us. Little bit of a spin. Elliott's going the wrong way. But I think from the Rock's point of view, they got to be saying, this guy's human. Let's get shots at him.
Veltman's first of the postseason, and Watson makes a big save on Fair.
Tommy Fair has been one of the most dangerous players for Philly today. 2 goals. He's played on the man short.
Clark. Now Maricek onto the floor as Millen controls from outside. Mark Millen. Hot knocked down by Patty Coyle. Coyle now with a loose ball to try to contend with. Needs some support and doesn't get it. And it is controlled and stolen by Philadelphia. The Rock broke up the floor thinking Coyle had good possession, but it didn't work. Here's Tom Ryan. To Maricek. Great shooter and scores! Tom Maricek from outside, and it is a 9-4 game.
This is the problem. The Rock has not scored 2 goals in a row. And every time they've scored, the Phillies come back quickly. You're going to see it's just an outside shot, one of the best outside shooters. Exactly a minute later, and Maricek has his second of the game, and it is 9-4. 5th of the playoffs for Maricek, who scored the big goal last week to get Philadelphia into this championship game. And a long shot, very similar to the one he scored there. 9-4 in favor of Philadelphia, who have outshot Toronto 42-36. Mark Millen. 5'8", 175 pounds of quickness. And he's like a water bug out there. Getting it back, a pass in front, looking for Berge, didn't work, but it is Ratcliffe with the loose ball and the rebound. Ratcliffe pulling his way to the front. Ratcliffe dives, stopped by Watson, and he will hold the ball, and there'll be a commercial break here. 9:45 to go in the championship game. The Wings lead by 5.
trailing Philadelphia by 5, 9-4. Dan Stroop, a definite sense of urgency here, perhaps abandoning defensive chores to open things up at the other end offensively.
Yeah, it's getting late in the game. We're going to have to start cheating, and we're going to do it. We have to do what we can to beat Dallas. He's coming up big for them, and we got to start taking some chances and putting him behind Dallas.
Thank you very much. Joe, this has been another Molson Export Bench Report.
5-goal lead for Philadelphia here with 9:45 to play in the quarter. Joe, it has been a quiet night here at the Air Canada Centre. Every time Toronto scored, Philadelphia's matched it.
Yeah, we noticed 19 seconds after one goal, 16 seconds after another goal.
There's a goal by Squire. Kim Squire makes it 9-5. His first of the game.
And Toronto's got to get another one quick, and we were just talking about it. Scoring goals. Philadelphia keeps coming back quickly. Watch, there's a bit of a mishap. There's a pick here. Number 77 there. Gets stuck down low.
Stilly and Jacobs may have gotten confused on the switch. Yep.
He got down low, and then at that point, you just got to get out of the way. But as we were saying before, 3 times in this game, Toronto scored, and Philly has scored less than a minute later. They've got to change that pattern.
Only once have Toronto scored back-to-back goals.
And that came intermission in between.
That's right. So that came at the end of the second quarter, and after the intermission, Caleb Toth scored his second in a row and second of the game. Now Philadelphia with the ball. Millen working against Beltman. Millen works out top, gets a pick, gets the shot, bounces. Did it hit Watson? Yes. Watson is trying to convince Chet Couture that it did not hit his stick, but it bounded into the crowd off the goal stick, and so it's Philadelphia ball. Here is Ratcliffe dishing it off. Berge snared and stopped by Watson. Another shot goes wide, and it is in the crease, says Couture, and so Toronto has the ball. And an errant pass Steve Toll has to track down. Toll. They just have not been crisp.
No, on the defense, here we go. Bob Watson going to the bench again, Joe.
Here's Squire. Got away from one. Losing his stick is Peter Jacobs. Squire, backhand try. Smothered by goaltender Dallas Eliuk. Eliuk just did get a piece of that. As it looked like Squire had him beat.
And we must mention again, his first name is Dallas. That's Dallas Eliuk. As Dan Stroop said, we have to find a way to beat Dallas. I'm sure some people were confused at home. Are we playing Philly or Dallas?
Dallas Eliuk from Vancouver. Now here's Ryan trying to get the ball out of the webbing of the stick. And the shot went wide. And now Toronto quickly with a transition. Lead pass is too far. And Eliuk has the loose ball. Can't score them all on one shift, right?
No, but they also
got to
have to take a few chances.
Yes,
now.
you do.
It's getting late. They got to take a few chances.
7.5 minutes to play. Millen with a glance at the clock. 9-5 Philadelphia. If you had said before the game that you'd be in a 9-5 game, you would probably immediately suggest Toronto's probably leading, because this fits their modus operandi.
You've got to hand it to Philly. They've played Toronto's game. They're winning.
Played it better.
Tough defense.
Yes, they have. Here's a shot. Great save. Rebound over the shoulders.
Oh!
Lee Makino with a goal. Caleb Toth is third of the game, and it's 9-6.
Caleb Toth has been the best player for the Rock, and he tries to get the crowd going here. Watch him corral this loose ball. Fantastic heads-up play. Outside shot by Stroop. Now he knows he's down and out, but look at him fight for this loose ball. Great heads-up play to realize he had to turn around and put it right at the net.
Not over yet. Roddy Squire has the ball off the face-off, and it will be Toronto ball. 9-6 at the 8-minute mark. Caleb Toth's third of the game and fifth of the postseason. Squire trying to get the team into it, and the shot was stopped by Elliott. Here is Toth up top for Squire, trying to get within 2. Here's Squire again, and he shot it wide. Toth has the rebound, but 18 seconds remain on the clock. Toth to Doyle. Doyle run at by Ryan, shoots wide of the goal. It's off the end and smothered by Dallas Elliott. 6:25 and ticking left in the 4th period. Down by 3. Errant pass. Stiley gets it and gets it away. Millen trying to calm things down and spread things out. Martin Millen. Back for Berge. Over here for Marichek. Marichek getting around Doyle. No goal. Time runs out.
Bobby Watson wasn't even trying on that. He knew the shot clock went, but still, what an accurate shot.
5:51 to go. Veltman. Boy, this crowd is into it now. Here's Caleb Toth. Winds and shoots off a body over the glass. Who did it go off
Whose
of?
body? They're all arguing.
Oh, no, it's you. No,
everybody's
it's you.
pointing
Oh,
at
it's
somebody. He's talking about 5 arms out there, Joe.
A lot of officials
It was him.
got into that. Fresh 30 on the shot clock. Here we go. Squire, listen to this crowd. Squire inside. Gill is bowled over and driven into the goal crease. Back comes Philadelphia.
That was great defense by Tom Slate to slide off his man and come over.
Mike Boza being double teamed. He realizes he shouldn't be where he is and heads to the bench. Jason Clark, Tom Marichek. Marichek behind the back pass. Millen didn't shoot it, changes hands and shot over top of the goal. Veltman has the loose ball. Jimmy Veltman ahead for Patty Coyle. Coyle comes across the timeline looking to find an outlet. Dishes it off to the bench he goes. Stroop sets up a pick. Here's Caleb Toth, still with it. Toth and Stroop working outside. Into Gill, can't shoot it. Squire doesn't. Now Doyle does, but it bounds off a Philadelphia player. Loose ball with 3 seconds left. Trying to get a shot away. They do, but it's right on Elliott. The three-peat is still in sight, but there is time going by quickly.
Well, with 4 minutes and 24 seconds to play, there is very little margin of error for the Toronto Rock. In fact, there isn't any. Assistant coach Ed Como in behind me here, going through the motions with his troops as to what has to be done in terms of final preparations here in the game's twilight seconds. Caleb, in a nutshell, what is the game plan from here on in?
Just to get to the net. You know, we got to out loose ball them. We got to finish our shots. Our D is starting to play better, so we're keeping us in there. But now it's the offense's turn. The D's have been carrying us all year. Now it's the offense's turn.
All right, go out there and do it. Thanks for doing it. This has been a Molson Export Bench Report. Joe, back upstairs to you.
A new National Lacrosse League attendance record for 19,409 in attendance. Rock Lacrosse brought to you by Chevy Silverado, the heavy duty of Chevy trucks. Here is Millen, back of the goal. Gelsvik chasing him. Millen forced back, throws it back of the goal as time had run out. Here we go. They need one here.
Guilty of something, Joe. It's that they're not trying to score. They seem willing to eat up the clock now, and they've got to keep playing their offense.
Watson to the bench for a 6th attacker.
Now they're not fooled this time.
No, but you still need the extra man. Toronto needs a goal. Doyle, stop, rebound! Stopped by Elliott. Loose ball, shot over the goal. Controlled by Philadelphia. And a whistle. A timeout, Philadelphia, I think, has been called. Tom Fair collecting himself off the carpet. Referee Bill Fox blowing the play down, and Philadelphia will talk probably just about watch for the extra guy, because they're going to be coming with it almost every possession.
Well, they know it's coming, but the good thing about it is it forces Philly to go into a zone. They can't play man-on-man if there's an extra man. They go in a zone, at least it's giving Toronto that chance to get that shot.
National Lacrosse League, third annual all-shanty team. These are the guys that don't get all the write-ups.
Yeah, the top defensive guys. We could have picked a few from the Rock, but we went with Craig Gelsvik, who's probably the most improved guy in the Rock this year. Pat Coyle's always up there, and if I don't pick him, he'll slash me. Marshall Abrams, another rookie, had a great year. Cam Woods from Albany. Pat McCready from Rochester, a good transition guy. And Bobby Watson.
19,409, and what a tremendous story for the National Lacrosse League this franchise has been, and it has prompted the expansion into other Canadian lacrosse hotbeds like Vancouver and Calgary, and a rumored move to Montreal fast approaching.
New Jersey.
New Jersey will be in next year, yes. So this league is growing in leaps and bounds.
And much of it because of the success of Toronto. Most of it because of the success of Toronto, really.
Berge dishes it off, and Finneran has the ball. Now on the far side. Clark. Back of the goal for Ryan. A pass is errant, and now a loose ball. And Toronto has it at center. Clark. Now to Pat Coyle. Coyle with the ball into the corner is knocked down, and it is Toronto's possession. Hit from behind, and so Toronto gets the ball, but opportunities to change for both teams.
And Bob Watson is on the bench again.
Here's Squire. A pass in front, scores! Danny Strout makes it 9-7 with 2:49 to play.
Suddenly, 2:49 seems like a lot of time, I'm sure, to Philadelphia. They are definitely guilty of turning their offense off. Toronto shows some guts again. We talked about the coaching. They pull their goalie again. It just enables them to get a good shot.
Danny Strout. Last year's MVP in this championship game, and Toronto has the ball off the faceoff. Veltman with a loose ball. Watson is coming to the bench again. 2:34 to play. Here is Gill, and his shot is stopped, and Watson is going to have to hustle back. Gill is hurt in the goal crease and clutching that right knee. Chris Gill, a firefighter in Vancouver, a member of Canada's national team at the World Championships, previously with Baltimore in the National Lacrosse League.
And either he's hurt or he was making sure Bob Watson had enough time to get back in the net.
And if it's the latter, it's a very heads-up play.
Yes.
And let's hope it's the latter, but he is being attended to here by Dave Murray, the head trainer. And he's up, and he looks like he's all right, heading back. Boy, this crowd is into it now with 2:25 to go. Toronto down by 2 as the Wings are looking.
This is pretty amazing, Joe. They've been in the final 9 of the last 12 seasons.
Looking for their first championship since 1998. Millen, errant pass, loose ball, Veltman flipping it ahead.
What a play.
Clark, great play by Jimmy Veltman. Get it to open field and allow your man to go to it, but an errant pass is now gobbled up by Strout. Make it Caleb Toth, number 9. Toth and Doyle. 1:55 to go. Colin Doyle up top. Goaltender out, extra attacker on. Caleb Toth being bothered, had it knocked out of his stick, still loose, but time runs out. 1:42 to go. They need a turnover. And 2 trips down the floor. Philadelphia can eat up 30 seconds of this clock.
Well, they need, oh my gosh. Philly just threw it into the bench there, Joe.
Oh, brother.
Oh, that's a break.
That is a huge break.
Bob Watson pulled, but it was safe to say Toronto has to score here.
They are on their feet at the Air Canada Centre. Squire doesn't shoot it. Colin Doyle! That was stopped. Rebound to Squire. Can't shoot it. Squire up top. Gill shot it wide. Rebound. Still loose on the floor, but the net is empty. And a whistle. A whistle. A timeout, Philadelphia. Then Tony Resch needs to settle his troops down. A horrible turnover allowed Toronto that possession. And he, right there, I think he singled him out with that little burst.
Yes, and he's going to want to calm them down here. I mean, really, you need perfection from Toronto here. Philly's got to waste 30 seconds. There's minute 18 left. 30 seconds down to about 40. Elliott has been great. Are you going to see another save?
Boy, he has been terrific. He has faced now 45 shots. The Toronto Rock have drawn even in that department. But they trail by 2 with a minute 18 to go. And right now, a dominant first half by Philadelphia, in which they led 6-2, is the difference in this game.
Toronto dug themselves a deep hole. And here we go. Toronto is not putting Bob Watson in net. They were in the same situation in Buffalo. What was a key game at that time. Down by 2 goals, and in fact in Buffalo they were down by 2 and shorthanded.
So the idea here is to double team the ball carrier,
double team,
right?
get that ball back
and
quickly.
hoping that you don't, that either it's an errant pass or they don't get over the timeline, right?
That's right, and what Philly should not do is shoot right for the net. Look at the speed on
Here's Millen. He goes straight to the net. A pass in for Ryan didn't work. Are they going to get Watson on? No, they're going to double team the ball, and Coyle stripped the ball. But then it's still loose. Berge after it. Berge looking to make a play. Sends it back. A great play there to haul it down. Still after it is Veltman. 55 seconds left. Got it free from Finneran. 2 seconds on the shot clock. It's gobbled up in a timeout. Quickly called by Toronto. 49.8 seconds. Charles Oakley's got to feel, I've seen this before. This reminds me of basketball.
I tell you see the speed on Millen there, breakaway from 2 guys. Toronto did a good job there. But after they got the ball, Philly was right on top to take it back.
So they've got a score. Charles Oakley looking on. He and the Raptors have done a great job in New York last night and are home on Sunday afternoon. And here is what has transpired since Toronto came into the league on their home floor in the playoffs. And so now there is 49.8 seconds left. And the score and the circumstance is right there as Les Bartley, Ed Como, Derek Keenan coming up with some strategy here. There's not a lot of time to work with.
No, you got to score and score quick.
Paul Hendrick, what did they say?
Joe, I'd like to tell you what, but in terms of the lacrosse vernacular, it was well over my head. Just being honest.
Thank you, sir.
You know what? I'm sure it involves scoring a goal.
Here is Squire. Dishes it off. Stroke. Squire. Down low. Back to Squire. His shot bounds wide. Rebound. High in the air. Grabbed by Squire. Great save by Dallas Elliott. Oh, my, that was a huge save. And now a long outlet pass. Whoa, what a hit that was. Caleb Toth gets slammed by Jamie Hanford. 22.8 seconds left. Here's Squire. Doyle. Shot. Stopped by Elliott. Where is it? It's underneath him. Is it in the net? No. Waved off. Diving for it was Gill, but couldn't get it. And with 11.4 seconds remaining, the Philadelphia Wings can start breathing a lot easier. Long outlet pass, intercepted by Beltman. Quickly fired back in. Chris Gill scores! 0.2 seconds left. It won't be enough.
Too little, too late.
It won't be enough. But what a performance and what a championship game and what a tremendous effort there by Dallas Elliott. Tremendous performance by Elliott, who was an all-pro for 7 straight years until Bob Watson came over, and it's over. The Philadelphia Wings celebrate a National Lacrosse League championship. The reign of the Toronto Rock comes to an end here by a 9-8 count.
And Joe, the better team won today. They definitely played better than the Rock for the most part of the game. And you got to give them credit. Everyone was talking about how they were intimidated by the Rock. They didn't like to go down the middle. And they played a tough, very tough defensive game. And it wasn't, you know, Marichuk scored some nice goals, but it was the Tommy Fairs and Mark Millens that made a big difference, and Dallas Elliott.
Yes, it was. And there's Tony Rash, and enjoying a championship here tonight on a tremendous effort by his club. They came in with a great game plan. They knew they had to play a physical brand of lacrosse, and they did that. They led in loose balls. Tom Ryan did a great job, but defensively, they just didn't give the Rock many second opportunities, and particularly in the first half, they gobbled up loose balls at an alarming rate and got second and third opportunities at Bob Watson.
Yeah, and the Rock had a great fourth quarter, but I think if they were able to have a great first or second quarter, they would have got the crowd into it, and that was a big difference. I mean, they got off to a strong start. Philly, the crowd didn't get into it. Their confidence built, and for the first time, they probably realized they could beat these guys.
Well, there has never been a team to win 3 consecutive National Lacrosse League championships. And with all of the expansion arriving in this league, how many of these players are wearing these jerseys for the last time?
Well, exactly. Joe, you have to look at the Western players on Toronto. Chris Gill, Dan Stroop, Caleb Toth. You tell me that Calgary doesn't want to get Caleb Toth whatever way they can, play for him, play for them?
Well, there will be some trades, some finagling. Is Dallas Elliott more comfortable playing in Vancouver? Are people like that? Jeff Ratcliffe.
Yeah,
will there be opportunities there?
There's a few Western guys all over this league, and you know, some of them will want to go back home.
So the Philadelphia Wings come into Toronto and pull an upset. Although they were the second-place team in the regular season, they had been dominated by the Toronto Rock over the last couple of years, but not this evening. The Toronto Rock with a lap around to salute a record crowd of 19,409. And let's go downstairs now to Paul Henry.
Thank you, Joe. And Les Bartley, second opportunity for a three-peat, and your heart has been broken by the Philadelphia Wings once again, but this was a well-deserved effort by the American representatives. They played well in Toronto tonight.
Oh, absolutely they did. They played a hard-fought game. They seemed to control the loose balls on the floor, and of course Dallas Elliott stood on his head for them.
In terms of your team, there was no quit right up to the very end, and it was a bitter end, but so difficult when you've come so far and so close to getting that three-peat, but they didn't quit.
No, that's the thing. That's what I liked about the team. That's what we talked about in the dressing room. We don't have quitters on this team, and we played right to the end.
Defeat will not rest well with this team, and I know it's too soon to ask about next year, but expansion has hit. Could this be the end of the Toronto Rock as we pretty well know them?
Well, I mean, let's face it, with expansion coming in, chances are we'll probably lose 3 players or so out of that, and who knows where things will happen from there. So next year's too early to talk about yet. We'll go back. We'll start working at it tomorrow.
All right, Les, thanks for this. Congratulations on a season, regardless of what transpired here tonight.
Thanks, Paul.
Les Bartley, head coach of the Toronto Rock. Let's send it back upstairs to Joe and Brian.
Head coach and general manager, and so that general manager's hat will start fitting on Les Bartley's head starting just in a few moments as the championship trophy is brought out to make the presentation. And let's go downstairs now to one of the stars of the game standing by with our Paulie.
Dallas Eliuk just commenting with him that he was literally in a zone, and he said, no, we simply took a page out of the Toronto Rock defensive playbook. A job well done. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much. We knew we were the underdogs coming into this game, and we played great defense, and our offense clicked for us early, and we built up enough of a lead to win this game.
Dallas, coming into this game, was there ever any doubt that you could beat these guys, given the fact that you'd lost 5 straight to them?
Now, believe it or not, every time we've lost to this team, we've had a pretty good excuse. Flight problems, people sick. The last time we played here, we had 7 or 8 guys with the flu. The game at home, we were missing Marechek, so there was never a doubt in our mind that we could beat this team.
It's been a courageous end of the season for you people. I look back to March 10th when Toronto went into First Union, beat the Philadelphia Wings. You had back-to-back games coming up against Washington. Not only played well in those, but did make the playoffs, and here you are now, champions.
Well, for some reason, no one in this league wants to give us respect. We were picked not to make the playoffs, and I think we showed everybody that we're for real.
Dallas Eliuk, of course, an MVP back in 1998 in this game. You come up big once again here. Goaltending was so huge. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's join the Commissioner, Jim Jennings, for the trophy presentation.
For the 2001 National Lacrosse League Championship, to Dallas Eliuk of the Philadelphia Wings. Congratulations, man. Great game. Right now, I would like to congratulate the Philadelphia Wings on a great championship game. I would like to thank Mr. Russ Klein, Mr. Chris Fritz, Mr. Michael French, and the entire staff of the Philadelphia Wings. But most importantly, I would like to present this cup to the players of the Philadelphia Wings, to Dave Stilley, the captain. Congratulations.
By the Philadelphia Wings will be returning to Philadelphia tomorrow at 12:43 via U.S. Airways Flight 1103 at Terminal B10. And their fans and family will be there to welcome them. A tremendous effort. Dallas Eliuk, a 2-time MVP in this game the last time, 1998. He backstops the Philadelphia Wings to a big 9-8 victory in the championship game as the Philadelphia Wings and the Toronto Rocks back-to-back championships.
Well, congratulations to the Philadelphia Wings, and this their 9th title appearance. They win their 6th championship, and as a result will go home to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, with a great deal of love for the championship cup. A tremendous victory on the road before a National Lacrosse League crowd, 19,400. They got out to a great start. Dallas Eliuk providing all sorts of outstanding goaltending, combined with the defense as well. Well, they were on their way to a championship, and their first since 1998. So the Philadelphia Wings win their 2nd championship dating back to 1998. On behalf of Brian and Joe, I'm Paul Hendricks saying so long from Toronto. Sports Central is coming up.